Español 1, capítulo 6. Possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives are words that tell who things belong to. So all of the words here in bold are possessive adjectives in English. My mom, their dog, her cat, our family. In Spanish, you already know the singular possessive adjectives. So when you're talking about one person having something, my, mi. Your, tu. His, her, your formal. It can even mean its, su. Now there's s's behind these, remember, because if what belongs to the person is more than one thing, you need to make the my, the your, the his, the her match that fact. So my mom, mi mamá. Mom is singular, so mi will be singular. But if you would say something like my dogs, then mi is going to become mis perros, because there's more than one dog, so it has to match the fact that there's more than one dog. The same thing applies with tu and with su. So the new ones for you today are our, your, plural when you're speaking to a group of people, and their. Nuestro is how you will say our if you're talking about one thing and it's masculine. So our dad, nuestro papá. Our dog, nuestro perro. But if you're talking about one thing and it's a feminine word, you want to use nuestra. Notice that both of these sound quite a bit like nosotros, we. So nuestra mamá, our mom. Nuestra familia, our family. Now if you're talking about more than one thing, and those things are masculine, nuestros. Our brothers, nuestros hermanos. If you're talking about more than one thing that is ours, and it's feminine, nuestras, our sisters, nuestras hermanas. Your, when you're talking to a group of people, and their are easy to remember, but since they're so easy to remember, you're going to see that they also are a little confusing. Su and su. They are the very same words that you used for his and her, your formal, its. You use the very same words for your plural and their. Remember that the majority of the time you're going to know which one it is based on the context. These possessive adjectives, all of these in red, go before the words they describe. You're already used to that with mi, tu, and su. And these adjectives, like other adjectives, must agree in number, so whether there's one thing or more than one thing, and in no s or s, and gender, whether it's a masculine thing or a feminine thing it's describing. And they agree in gender when possible, but nuestro is the only possessive adjective which can agree in both number and gender. So you can make it match whether it's one thing or more than one thing, and whether it's a feminine thing or a masculine thing that you have. Let's try some práctica here. Sometimes it's easier to see the concept with examples. Our brother. So brother, hermano, just like being in class with me. Hermano, singular, masculine, noun. So the our that you're going to choose has to match hermano. Nuestro hermano. There's a variation on that one. Our sisters. So what's got to change? Hermano is going to become hermanas. And then if you have to make the our agree with hermanas, you're going to have to put nuestras. Nuestras hermanas. Their aunt. Well, we know that her and his and your, plural, and their are all su. Can it stay su or does it need to become sus? Well, there's only one aunt that you have. So it'll be su tía. Their aunts, sus tías. So now it not only reflects that it's their, but also that it's aunts that you're talking about, more than one. How about your families? You're speaking to a group of people. Families is familias, so it's plural. And we know the most commonly used one, su. Su and familias doesn't match as far as being plural. So we need to make su, sus. And finally, my family. Familia, singular noun. So mi familia. Since mi doesn't end in o, you can't make it agree, masculine or feminine. Mi is just me. So one thing that is confusing to students, I've seen this trip students up over the years that I've taught Spanish, is deciding when to use su or sus for his, her, your, or their. Remember that you do not use sus because there is more than one person who has this thing. This decision of whether to use su or sus is based on what they have, not who they are. So for example, his family, su familia. It's su because you're saying his, but it's su and not sus because you're talking about a familia. Same thing with their family. Su also means their, and you won't make it sus because it's their, more than one person, because what they have is a familia, and that's a singular noun. His parents, sus padres. Even though there's just one guy who has these parents, it reflects the fact that he has more than one. It's not based on who he is, it's based on what he has. So their parents as well. Sus, because it's padres that they have. Now remember, if it isn't clear from context, people will say something like, if someone is confused, they'll say, oh, los padres de ellos. The parents of them, to clear it up. So let's try some practice here. I don't know their cousins. I don't know is no conozco. If we don't know who, cousins are people, so you need a personal a. No conozco a. Primos are cousins. So which form of there are you going to choose? Cousins, plural. You're going to choose sus. I don't know their mom. No conozco a again. Now if you're thinking, oh, I should put sus because it's there. There's more than one person whose mom it is. No, not based on who they are, based on what they have. No conozco a su mamá o su madre. So here's some context practice, chicos, for figuring out some of these more confusing ones. Nuestro abuelo es del Canadá. In Inglés, our grandpa is from Canada. Literally, they say, is from the Canada. Dos, you're talking to Marta and Juan. Marta y Juan, ¿dónde están sus padres? Marta and Juan, where are your parents? You're speaking to more than one person, so your. That would be the most logical translation for that example. Ellos se llaman Teo y Marta. Sus padres son los primos de mi papá. Their names are Teo and Marta. Their parents are my dad's cousins. Literally, the cousins of my dad. So sus, in that case, since you've just been talking about Teo y Marta, it's got to be there. So remember to use the context to figure out if it's his, her, your formal, its, your, like you guys's, or their. Ahora chicos, más práctica. Our cousins. They're all females, so it should be primas. Now let's worry about the our. Our is nuestro, but we have to make it agree with primas, feminine, and plural. Nuestras primas. Their parents. Su is there. Don't make it sus right away because you're thinking, oh, there, more than one person. No, let's look and see what it is they have. Parents. Well, parents is plural. So you're going to make that plural. So they match. Sus padres. And if it wasn't clear from the context, remember you'd say los padres de ellos. Their sister. Su hermana. One sister, so su stays singular, even though it's more than one person that has the sister. Your families, you're talking to more than one person. Familias is families. And if we're saying your, it's su, we want to make it agree, sus familias. Our grandma. Abuela is grandma. Our, nuestro, but we need to make it agree. Nuestra abuela. So feminine, feminine, singular, singular. My grandparents. Mis, since we're talking about abuelos, more than one person. Mis abuelos.